I just want to talk about suicide for a bit and mental health, the whole thing. So, I have been there where I have had thoughts. I've never actually gone through and tried to do anything. But yeah, it's not as uncommon as people think. It's not. There doesn't have to be anything wrong with you for you to have thoughts or even try to go through with anything. And the people that think shows like 13 Reasons Why, the people that think that show glamorizes it, they're wrong. But I'm not sure if they're saying that from a bad space, or if they don't want actual suicidal people to see it and get to a place where they fall through with something. So I think it's in a good place where they're saying this, but it's just not true. It is raw. And if any of you have seen the show, you'll know that. But it's true. And it's important for people to know what it really looks like, what it feels like, from an inside perspective and an outside perspective. And it opens a conversation. A lot of the times people aren't comfortable talking about it, thinking about it, listening to someone talk about it. And then that needs to change. Lots of times when people try to act on a thought or express that they've been thinking about it or anything like that, it's not asking for attention or, whatever. It's just a way of saying they need help or asking for someone to care, seeing if anyone would care. Yeah. And a lot of people don't know that or realize that, or they think that's not what it looks like, which again, obviously isn't true. Someone can look totally put together and be totally falling apart in reality, or someone could look like they're falling apart when they are. It could be gradual, over months or years or days, or it can just be something really bad happened and they can't come back from it. Another thing lots of people think, I had a point. Lots of people think that people with thoughts or that try to follow through with it want to die. And most people, I shouldn't say most, a lot of people that do those things don't really want to die. They just want the pain to go away, to end. And in most of those cases, that's the only way to do that. In the immediate future. Of course, if you work through whatever it is you're going through, or get help, whatever, it will ease or maybe go away, but that would take time. And often the people that are in that position want or need it to go away right away. It's just built up too much, or it's too much already, whatever the case. And they just want it to end. They need it to end. And I've been there, where it doesn't seem like anything in your life is going right or working out. You're in just so much pain that you ask yourself, what's the point? But clearly I'm still here, so I got through it, and I can't afford therapy, so honestly, my mom has been my therapy, and there's no shame in that either. If you're lucky enough to have parents or friends or someone at a store that you see, whatever, whoever it is, if you're lucky enough to have someone who will listen and care, try it. Try talking to them. Most of the times, those people aren't even wanting feedback necessarily. They're just wanting someone to genuinely listen and care. Of course, there are many different reasons why someone would get to that state, and oftentimes things need to be done to fix this situation. It's not just a simple matter of my life is falling apart. It can be that, but oftentimes it's not. There's something deeper, which then it would need to be fixed. But right away, that person would oftentimes need to just have someone listen to them and care. And really care, not just a random person. It could be a random person that genuinely does care, but if it's not someone that really genuinely cares, it probably won't matter, because that's not what they're looking for. And it sucks that there aren't the means for people who can't afford therapy or don't have people to talk to, that they are essentially trapped. They have themselves and what they can find, I guess, on the internet if they have access to that. Or maybe if they have access to books, maybe. But there's no guarantee that they can. So those people really are alone, and that just sucks. And it needs to stop. It needs to change. The money that is spent on different things in the world, in our country, in other countries, but that is not put towards mental health. It's crazy. And it's crazy that we have therapists and doctors of the like that don't care, because there are a lot that don't care. They're in it for the money. Or they went into it with good intentions, but lost interest, or it just became too much, so then they shut down and kept up with the business, but they can't offer any more genuine help. And that sucks too. I wish I could say something that would make it okay, or like a real solution all across the board, but there just isn't. Right now there's therapy, people to talk to, helplines, stuff like that, for people who have access to it, but some people don't. And that is the terrible reality of mental health and suicide. And I think it needs to be talked about in schools, workplaces. I don't think we should be ignoring it and leaving it this elephant in the room. Who's gonna talk about it? Who's gonna fix it? Who's gonna start real progress? Who's gonna care? Aside from all these, like, I'm just one person in the entire world. How many people like me who are talking about it will it take to make an actual difference? And I don't mean like putting freaking barriers up on bridges or whatever. If someone wants to go through something and they've already gotten to that point, they will. So, putting up a nice front in society is not going to cut it. And it hasn't. People find ways to go through with it all the time. And it's terrible. Schools need better therapy, teachers, educators, counselors, whatever. Elementary schools, secondary schools, colleges, universities, workplaces even. Society does. And honestly, it should be free. Like, who came up with the idea that in order to get help, good, decent, genuine help, that you have to be able to afford it? So your life is literally worth what therapy costs? I don't really have a great way to end this because it's an unresolved issue that just sucks. But I wanted to address it and just, if anybody needs to talk, I'm here. I've been through the thought process at least. So yeah, I can relate to some of it. Yeah. Don't be afraid to reach out.